Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I would like to welcome all of you at the 3:35 meeting of the Speakers Den Toastmaster Club. My name is Toastmaster Venkatesh Kumar and I will be the sergeant at arms in today's meeting. To officially start and run the meeting smoothly, here are some ground rules that we will follow during the course of this meeting. First, please put yourself on mute when you are not speaking. Second, don't interrupt while someone is speaking. If you were to move during the meeting, please turn off your camera. Third, please be mindful from addressing sex, religion, and politics during the meeting. Fourth, be attentive throughout the meeting, support and encourage the fellow speakers by turning on your camera and warm smiles and claps. Use Zoom reaction buttons to express yourself during the meeting. As you are aware, everyone has a mission in life. Similarly, our Toastmaster has a mission. Our Toastmaster mission is to provide mutually supportive environment so that each members of our club can develop their leadership and communication skills, which will help to boost their self-confidence and personal growth. To take the meeting forward, I would welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Sankhya. Let's give a big round of applause to welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Sankhya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesh. A round of applause for our wonderful Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Venkatesh, and a very good morning, dear Toastmasters and guests. As a presiding officer for today's meeting, let me start our meeting number 335 with a clap. Great. Now, while we start with the meeting, I see we have a few guests with us. I would like to take a quick intro with the guest. I say, hi, Vasudev. Very good morning. Vasudev, are you able to hear me?
Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't change my name. My name is Sucheta, and I belong to TCS Smriti Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I am just curious. I just came to learn something more. Yeah. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sucheta, and welcome to Speakers Den Toastmaster Club. I hope you have a wonderful meeting today. Great. And we also have Pranav. Hi, Pranav. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pranav, and I'm from the Anchorage Toastmasters Club, and I'll be evaluating today one of the speakers, and I hope we'll have a wonderful meeting today.
Absolutely, Pranav. Pranav, I would request you to please rename yourself as a role _ your name.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, for those who have joined Toastmasters for the very first time, let me tell you that 97 years back, when a man named Ralph Medley, he had a wonderful dream. And the dream was very, very unique. The dream was to remove the worst fear of mankind. And that's the public speaking. Now, after years of hard work, this man founded what is popularly known as the Toastmaster International, which became a worldwide non-profit educational organization that empowers individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Now, almost hundreds years back, that was now 99 years back, on 22nd October 1924, first Toastmaster meeting was held. And any idea where it was held for the first time? Any guesses?
California.
Absolutely fantastic. You get a good thumbs up for that. Super. And any idea that how much is the organization's membership today across the globe?
More than 100 countries.
Okay, I'll go more. Okay, I'll give you three choices. It's 100,000 plus, 200,000 plus, more than 300,000 plus.
More than 300,000 plus.
Super, yeah. It's 357,000 in more than 16,600 clubs across 143 countries. Great. And amongst all the thousands of clubs across the globe, well, Speakers Den Toastmasters was the club which was founded almost 10 years back. And that was founded on 25th September 2012. Now, while we join Toastmasters for public speaking, but there are two additional benefits which come along the way. Any idea what are these? Apart from public speaking, what are the other two things that we also get benefit out of it?
Networking.
Confidence building, maybe.
Sorry, a little bit louder.
Confidence building.
Okay. What else?
Networking.
Leadership.
Networking. Yes.
Networking.
Leadership qualities.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Let's give a round of applause for all those who have answered very nicely. So, of course, the confidence building we all have when we go to the public speaking, but at the same time, Toastmaster is a gold mine for creating network because we have thousands of Toastmasters with varied kind of backgrounds. So you can connect with them, understand that where and how. So that's very important. We should also keep moving from one club to another, keep visiting one club to another, to know that what are the various members are doing, what are the best practices we are following across the club. That's one of the very important things that we do in Toastmasters. And thanks to Sucheta, Ashwin, and Pranav for coming up to our club today for that one. Super. Now, at Toastmasters, being one of the most positive platforms, we do one thing which is very critical. And Sucheta was right in this. Confidence building, because we break fear, the fear of public speaking, that unknown fear. Hey, what will happen if I fail, or if I forget my lines, or what will other people think of me? Now, let me assure you that at Speakers 10, we encourage you to fail because we constantly push our members that, hey, don't feel shy, speak up. It's okay to fail. We learn from it. But one thing which will make you perfect is practice. And to do that, you need to speak up in every meeting. And when someone speaks up as an audience, you need to clap because the clap is an encouragement for the speaker when they are on the virtual stage. And since it's virtual, can you show me how do we clap? Well, we can use our virtual emojis, or you can switch on your video and clap. Wonderful. Great. For those who are yet to be on the video, I would request you, please come on the video because it's a virtual session. It's super to get engaged and see each other and get motivated as well. Awesome. Thank you, Venkatesh. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Dr. Pasha. Okay. Super. Now, every meeting has a theme. And today's theme is going to be a very, very interesting and exciting one. Because who doesn't want to get gifts? I would love to. But what about if we tell that there is an art of gifting? And what's that? Well, I'm interested to know more about that and to talk more about that. We have someone very special who is going to be our Toastmaster of the day. But before I name her and open the secret, let me tell her more about her, that she is a HR by profession and has around 10 years of work experience. She has completed MA in Public Administration and PG Diploma in HR Management. With that, let's give a round of applause for our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lalitha. Toastmaster Lalitha, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sankhya, for that wonderful introduction. So good gift giving is an art. The perfect present can lift a mood or improve a relationship. It simply reminds our loved ones that you care. So how many of you take hours to decide what gifts has to be given for your special ones? Raise your hands. Yes. So I experience this most of the time when I have to give gifts to my special ones. So recently it was my sister's 30th birthday. So it was very special ones because it was 30th birthday. And I had to gift her something very special. But there was one problem. I didn't know what to gift. It seemed she had everything. But I also agree to the fact that no woman ever has sufficient clothes or shoes or bags. They are ever short for them. So most of the time, she will not approve the style, color, or size, and she will end it exchanging it. So finding the right gift has always been a challenge for me, and I assume it has been a challenge for most of us. So I'll give you some ideas. Too often, people crave to learn new things they're passionate about, and they reserve this for some distant future. So things like cookery or painting or learning guitar or driving. So help them to learn this. Gifting learning classes is not just something useful, but it can also be thoughtful. So I suggest a membership also fits into this category. So if you know someone who loves speaking, who loves to meet new people, or just have to do a lot of presentation or develop their leadership skills or improve their public speaking skills, give them our club membership next birthday. So moving ahead with the meeting, I would like to explain how a Toastmasters session is conducted. Any Toastmasters session is divided into 3 parts. The first part consists of prepared speeches where members prepare in advance for a 5 to 7 minute speech and where the evaluator evaluates them. The second part is a fun-filled table topic session where anyone from the audience can come up and give a 1 to 2 minute speech on the topic given by the table topic master. And the third part is the most important evaluation section where our general evaluator for the day will give a report on the entire meeting of today. Having said that, I would like to invite our general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Ashwin Shankaran. He's president of Flipmasters, a procurement professional, 3 years actively in Toastmasters and 10 years completing in Toastmaster. He loves speaking, pet parent, and lover. He loves his bikes and solo trips, family time, thriller movies. He hates horror movies. So over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin Shankaran.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Lalitha, for that wonderful intro of mine. Welcome everyone of Speakers and Toastmasters Club and the guests who are here. As a general evaluator, my role becomes one of the big threes, wherein I would be evaluating the entire meeting and the performances of every role taker to help me be, to a successful evaluation. We have important aspects in Toastmasters, which is timing is one of the most important aspect. The way we speak, more than of what we speak, how we speak is important. And there are filler sounds, ahs, which we usually use. And then, of course, grammar is also one of the most important things. To assist me in today's meeting, we have a timer and our counter. Let me please call upon the timer for today, Toastmaster Rohit. Toastmaster Rohit, could you give us an brief about your role?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thank you, Ashwin. Toastmaster Ashwin. So as a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, the formal speeches, and the evaluations. So I will also be alerting each speaker of the time, let's say using the green, the yellow, and the red cards in the background, which denotes the specific time remainings. So those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. We have speeches ranging from 5 to 7 minutes. So in that, I would be showing the green card at 5 minutes. At 6 minutes, it will be the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, it will be the red card. We also have a speech for 13 minutes for which the time would be like the green card at 11 and the yellow card at 12 and the red card at 13. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it will be the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. There would be a 30-second buffer timing for which no additional card will be displayed. Coming to table topics speeches, those should be between 1 to 2 minutes, with the timing being 1 minute, the green card, at 1 minute, 30 seconds, the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, the red card. Again, there would be a 30-second buffer timing for which no additional card will be displayed. Yeah. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit. And let me tell you, for those who all do not know Rohit, Rohit is from Punjab and he is now settled in Bangalore. For the last 13 years, he's a professional working with Tesco. Personally, he has an to talk about his personal life, he has an 8-year-old son and he loves playing and spending time with him. He also loves reading and immerses completely into it while he is at it. He's an avid sports enthusiast, enjoys badminton and table tennis the most. I would like to have a game with you if that's good because I am learn how to play badminton. I'm not an avid badminton player. And again, movies is something that he unwinds himself with. Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit, for the wonderful introduction to the role. Next, to support me, we have the R counter. Now, before I speak about the role, I think it's best that he himself speaks about the role. So let me please introduce Toastmaster Sankhya as the R counter.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashwin. Now, as an R counter, the purpose is to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler words, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as or this means, this means. So at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. With that, I'll hand over back to Toastmaster Ashwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sankhya. I'm sure everyone over here is very fascinated by the way he speaks. I was more fascinated by the introduction that he sent me. Right. I'm sure everyone over here, role takers, have already read it. I am one person who reads the intro and then converts it into my way to make it short. But in his case, I would like to read the intro as it is, as how it's sent. Meet Mr. Toastmaster Sankhya. He's been making robots work in finance for the last 18 years. I would like to know how. That is something very interesting. Turning dull into cool. Yes, absolutely right on that. He tells stories so well that even a boring number sheet wants to laugh. And when he's not playing with robots or making people laugh, he is chewing down his favorite food, that is biryani. I should share a video with you. There are apparently 32 types of biryanis in the country. I'll share that video with you. Here's a number who knows, here's a numbers guy who knows how to mix fun, work, and a good meal. This is one of the most creative intros that I've gotten in my last 3 to 5 years in Toastmasters. Kudos to that. I am really looking forward to meeting in person. With that, members, let me introduce to you once again Toastmaster Sankhya with a grand applause for him. We also have a grammarian who usually helps us, but due to certain last minute problems, our grammarian couldn't join us. So I would be partly taking note of the good usages and the wrong usages, and if any, I will call it out during my meeting. I will be evaluating the entire meeting, as I said before, from the beginning to the end. With no further ado, let me hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lalitha.
Thank you, General Evaluator Ashwin Shankaran, for your introduction as well as the tag team introduction. A big round of applause for General Evaluator Ashwin Shankaran. So moving to the first section of the meeting, which is prepared speeches. Our first speaker of the day is Toastmaster Pasha. He is a cosmetic orofacial surgeon, has been in dentistry for 22 years. He has 3 multi-speciality innovative dental clinics and implant center. He's authored and published 2 books released and published worldwide, now currently available on Amazon and Aditi Books. He loves helping people to chase their dreams. But before I invite him on stage, I would like to invite Toastmaster Ashwin Shankaran to read out a speech objective.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lalita. To call out Toastmaster Pasha's speech objectives, Toastmaster Pasha would be delivering his L4P2 of the Pathway Presentation Mastery. His speech purpose today is to create a podcast in which the purpose of the project is for the member to be introduced to the skills needed to organize and present a podcast. Also, the purpose of this speech is for the member to introduce his or her podcast and to present a segment of the podcast. That is in brief the objectives for the meeting. All the best, Dr. Pasha.
Please help me welcome.
Sir.
Pasha, 1 minute. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Pasha. Change, real game change. Change, real game change, Toastmaster Pasha. Over to you, Toastmaster Pasha.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
So, what is the most precious gift one can give to oneself and to the world? Anyone from the audience?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Knowledge, good.
Maybe time.
Time, good.
Love.
Now, see, the most precious gift one can give to oneself and to the world is discovering, finding one's potential and make use of it. Finding one's potential and make use of it is the precious gift one can give to the world and to the oneself. Then, why we struggle to find our potential? Anybody from the audience? Why? Why we struggle to find our potential? Why we struggle to discover ourselves?
Fear of being judged by others.
Good, good. Then
Self-doubts.
self-doubt. Then
Because of
certain things.
our education system, it's not been taught from the childhood. So if you see Vedic society, everything was there. So the whole education system and it's corrupt, and that is the main reason.
sir, you all are correct. But the thing is, the basic funda is we humans are genetically programmed. We are genetically programmed to maintain equilibrium. Our brain is designed to protect ourselves and to safeguard ourselves. Our brain is designed to resist discomfort, to resist pain, to step into unknown. This is the basic mechanism operating in our human. That's why we maintain equilibrium. We don't open to new ideas. We close our curiosity. That's why we're not able to find our potential. See, thing is, we resist discomfort. We resist change. We don't want pain. So in the nutshell, we resist change. Good morning, one and all. Change, the real game changer. How? Because change comes with discomfort and pain. See, if we embrace change, if we welcome change, we'll feel discomfort, we will feel pain. But ultimately, what happens? What happens ultimately if we after discomfort, after pain? Welcome change. Initially, we will feel discomfort. Initially, we will struggle. Afterwards, we will learn, we will grow, we will prosper. So that's why the real game changer is change. See, throughout my life journey, I have made changes that helped me to progress, grow and progress. In 2018, I decided to purchase a flat. In 2008, I decided to purchase a flat. That time, my thinking was very narrow. Means I didn't have that much budget. I waited for many years. to get the real estate market get corrected. My thinking was, let real estate market get fall down, let it crash will come for me to invest and purchase the house. Like that, I have spent 2-3 years. But eventually what happened from 2008 till 2011, that didn't happen. Means instead the real estate market went up. And I realized that, so the real estate market will not get correct for me. I need to correct myself. I need to change myself. So that decision, I changed my thinking. I changed my perspective towards real estate. Then what happened? I started my clinical hour. Initially, I used to work 4 hours a day. Then I started increase my clinical hours from 4 hours to 8 hours. Then I started investing on my, previously in my clinic, I used to follow the old traditional methods. Then I started investing on new technology. I started adopting the new technology. Third, what I did, little bit, instead of investing in real estate, I invested on my equipments. So all this helped me to enhance my practice. Once my practice got enhanced, my patient's flow got increased. My income got enhanced. Then after that, I purchased a new flat. So the thing is, lesson is, we want to get better. If you want to good things, first thing is we have to change our thinking. We have to change ourselves. If we change ourselves, everything will start changes for us. Second, one of the second this thing is this is the turning point in my life. So as I am succeeding and become successful, that time I am doing alone. All my clinical stuff I am doing alone. I am only the doctor. I am handling the clinic. So from morning to evening, I am the only person and doing all the patients, doing lots of work. But my thinking that time was not to employ any other dentist, newcomers. My thinking was, if I employ new dentist, what they will come and learn from me, learn my knacks under me. They steal my job and they will they come and start to open their clinic beside my clinic. They capture my business. That was my thinking initially. But to one of my doctor friend, it has happened like that. But I took the risk. So I changed my perspective towards empowering other people, other dentists. So I started employing new dentists and I started helping them. I started empowering them. Then slowly I started employing the same dentist in my clinic. Those dentists helped me, indirectly helped me to empower me. Starting, I had one clinic, one chair. Then after this, after I decided to empower other dentists, after I decided to help other dentists, then from one chair to slowly it raised to 2 chairs. From 2 chairs it slowly raised to 3 chairs. It slowly became multi-speciality. So the thing is, here the learning is, see, if we help other people to get what they want, we will get what we want. Means we have to develop that mentality. Means that because openness is prerequisite to growth. We should not be, that I learned that we should not be selfish. So giving back to the world, we are taking from the world, giving back our success facilitates more success, and it will help you to become more. This is the second mistake. Third is, in my practice only, my professional life only, initially I used to I used to stuck on to my old ideas of doing things. Means I have confined my profession to some particular line of treatments. Slowly I changed my thinking. See, I started purchasing the new books in my own profession. I started reading it, I started learning it, I started new skills. Because slowly, as I was growing up, my standard has got increased. After purchasing my house, what happened indirectly was that my neighbors got changed. My locality where I used to stay got changed. So my expectation on myself got improved. So that my expectation got myself improved means, see, I had that time I had a Maruti 800. So then, to my surroundings, to get adapted to those surroundings, I hoped for SUV. So that hope, that expectation from myself, what it did, it pushed me further in my profession to take calculated risks, to invent new methods of doing treatment, to create new techniques. For that, even my patients also helped me to do that one. So taking calculated risk created me new opportunities. So what other doctors could not offer, I started offering them new ways with less expensive prices. So I changed my organization name from multi-speciality dentist to innovative dental clinic. So see, if you are creation means, in my experience, is taking risk. Innovation is always taking risk, because once you start creating, it may go many times. It initially went against me also, against my results outcome, but I kept on. I kept on innovating new things, creating new ideas. Now I have 3 clinics, innovative dental clinic and centers. All are flourishing. I have employed almost 8 doctors under all these branches. Everyone is growing. So here the lesson is, taking calculated risk is must. Move to average to the fortune. If you want to raise your standard, if you want to grow progress, really you have to be a calculated risk taker. Here, this is the lesson. So I conclude all this my experience by saying, see, we humans, we suffer from 2 pains. One is pain of accepting change, embracing change. That is very temporary. In my case, it was all my pain, discomfort was temporary. Other pain is very severe, the pain of regret. That is permanent. We will carry that pain to our graveyards. That should not happen to any one of us. So that pain we should avoid. So today's theme is the gift. What gift we can do. So as a experienced clinician and a doctor, reputed doctor, my advice to you all is, always choose the pain of change, pain of discomfort, where we will grow more, where the growth happens. So I will conclude my speech saying, change, the real game changer. Over to you, sir.
A big round of applause for Toastmaster Pasha. Our second speaker for the day is Toastmaster Vishal. He's working as a strategy consultant in one of the big four. He's passionate about technology and loves to participate in marathon events. He has served as VP Education for Toastmasters Community
job.
Club Bhubaneswar. He secured runner-up position at division level table topic
5-10
contest
मिनट रुक सकती हो
and winner of table topic contest at area level while representing his club previously. But before I invite him on stage, I would like to invite Toastmaster Abhishek to read out a speech objective. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhishek.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Lalitha. And Toastmaster Vishal is attempting his L2P2 and pathway is innovative planning. So the purpose of the project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. So over to you, Toastmaster Lalitha.
So please help me welcome Toastmaster Vishal, demystifying a unique profession. Demystifying a unique profession, Toastmaster Vishal. Over to you, Toastmaster Vishal. You are on mute.
Am I audible? Once upon a time, there was a shepherd with lots of sheep, and they all were grazing in a mountain spread across acres. All of a sudden, a young professional came in a Mercedes. Shoo! He stopped, he parked his car, he came out, went to the shepherd and asked, "Hey, Mr. Shepherd, what if I count the number of sheep that you have and give you the exact number? Will you give me one sheep from the lot?" Shepherd looked surprised. He looked at the young professional and then he looked across the animals around there. He mentioned, okay. The young professional went back to his car, opened his Bluetooth enabled mobile phone, connected to some ArcGIS software for GIS, identified the area across which the ships were spread out, and then finally he created a beautiful dashboard in Excel and came back to the shepherd and mentioned, okay, Mr. Shepherd, I have identified and calculated the total count of the ships is 15,036. Shepherd looked at the young professional, mentioned, yes, you are correct. The young professional took that one ship and he was putting it in his vehicle. At the same moment, the shepherd mentioned to the young professional, Mr. Young Professional, is it fine if I guess your profession? Will you give the animal back to me? The young professional was like, how would he be able to guess my profession? Okay, let's try. At that moment, the shepherd mentioned, you are a management consultant. The young professional was aghast. Oh my God, how can you know that? What is the secret? How you can identify that I am a management consultant? At that moment, the shepherd mentioned, I identified because of 3 reasons. Firstly, you all by yourself, you came here and asked me the questions. I never invited you. Secondly, you asked for a fee, that is your ship, for something that I already know, the count of the numbers. And lastly, you don't understand the business I'm working. Please return the dog which you have already put in your vehicle. So that's how a typical joke of a management consultant is. However, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, management consultant is a different ballgame altogether. In today's era, management consultants are really important because the world is changing. We are moving towards environmental science, governance. We are moving towards open AI. We are moving towards a generation of AI. And we need management consultants to understand each industries, various industries, specialize on that, and then let us know which walk to go forward. I'll ask few questions for all of you. I would request you to unmute and help me answer these questions. Firstly, let's identify whether it's management consulting or not. My first question is, what if as a management consultant, I say the role is to assess the balance sheet, profit and loss statement, audit it, and let the client know what's the final outcome. Is it management consulting? Any guess?
No.
Correct. It's not management consulting, it's accounting. But what if I say, let's say Toastmaster Lalitha is HR professional. She is head of HR, and in her organization, she is the only HR professional. But her organization exponentially has grown up. Now we need to set up capability of HR. We need to have structure. We need to have RACI metrics, roles, responsibilities well defined. We need to have all those things streamlined. Is it a management consulting role? I can see some nods.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, it's a management consulting role. What if I say Abhishek, Toastmaster Abhishek is keen and he has a business in, let's say, a healthcare startup, and now he is looking to buy or purchase some other companies like Headspace or CultFit. And there's a mergers and acquisition discussion which I'm talking about. What do you think? Is this a management consulting endeavor or not?
It is.
It is.
Yes.
Mergers and acquisition is part of management consulting. Even if I have to go back and tell my society members, the secretary over here, hey, let's install the MyGate app that will streamline the exit and entry in our apartments. It will have all the logs in our building, what's going on. We can even pay the maintenance through this thing. It's kind of streamlining the thing, and it's a job of management consulting. My dear friends, from the history, right? If you go back to the history, you all have known the word Chanakya. And I'm saying about the historical era where we have kings. Chanakya was the one of the advisor who helped Chandragupta Maurya establish and flourish the empire. And he was the first advisor in a way which we can look back in the history and say, yes, that's the role of a management consultant, to flourish an empire and to guide the kings so that he can do the right thing possible. Similarly, here's the going forward path for all of us to think about. Friends, keep your eyes and ears open on how the industry is evolving. Today, it's very different than what it was a few years back. With OpenAI, environmental science, governance, everything coming together, all the discussions in UN, World Bank happening about environmental science, there are roles which we all have to play, which you all can contribute, because I believe you all have the element of management consulting. You guide your friends, your family members to adapt to new technologies, to make decisions. You bring frameworks and decide which mobile phone to buy. These are all traits of management consulting. The scale could be different for different organizations, your life, your personal life, but it's an art which we all can flourish, which we all can learn. We all can be thoughtful about how we can provide our decisions. It's a structure, it's an art of storytelling, how we can bring structure to the thought process and then provides a compelling case on what to go do and how to do it. My dear friends, keep your eyes and ears opening. The industry is evolving, IT industry, ECG, ESG, everything is evolving. Management consulting is going to be there because that's how the entire industry evolves, circumventing the management consulting. Don't be the young guy who don't know the business. Be the guy who know the business and then advise client towards the right direction. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, TM Lalitha.
A big round of applause for Toastmaster Vishal. Toastmaster Abhishek, would you like to present the evaluation now, or do you need some?
Yeah, I can present. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So thank you, Toastmaster Vishal, for wonderful explanation and insight. And the purpose of the project was for the member to practice the skill needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. So I think you need to present to outside this club. So that is one point which you can note, to present outside the club also. Apart from that, you excelled at good storyline and you came up with a wonderful story. And after that, you completely and like engage with the audience and 3 or 4 questions, whether you are a management consultant or not, and you are engaging the audience. That was a good part. And I was also able to connect and was able to identify and able to understand also. So that was a very good part of your speech. Apart from that, your body language, it was good. You were able, like hand expression, movement, everything was fine. And I was able to connect, understand, and proper gestures, everything was in place. But you need to somewhat work more on the voice modulation. So something you can focus more on that, to like intonation, voice modulation, something you can work on that. And apart from that, I think it was a wonderful speech, and I was able to connect everything, like all the examples, scenario, you're able to connect everything. Everything was fine. So some voice modulation and some more you can work on. I think walking across the stage. That I think it's an online, so you cannot focus on that. So apart from that, it was a wonderful speech, and I completely enjoyed it. So anyhow, and also you can present this speech to another club. Yeah. So over to you, TMOD, Lalitha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek, for presenting the evaluation. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Abhishek. Our third speaker for the day is Toastmaster Venkatesh. He devotes his time between studying and pursuing his diverse hobbies. An avid volleyball player, balancing his time between these activities, Venkatesh is on a determined journey to crack the UPSC examination. But before I invite him on stage, I would like to invite Toastmaster Pranav to read out his speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lalitha. So my target speaker for today is Toastmaster Venkatesh. He's doing his level 2, project 2 in dynamic leadership path. Now, the purpose of his speech today would be the project would be for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify their primary style. The purpose of speech is for the member to share the impact of their style on others. And I wish all the very best to Toastmaster Venkatesh. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Please help me welcome Toastmaster Venkatesh. Patience, Toastmaster Venkatesh. Over to you, Toastmaster Venkatesh.
Thank you, Lalitha. I am audible and clear. Good morning, everyone. Today, I am going to speak about the topic patience. Patience is not the ability to keep waiting, but the ability to keep good attitude while waiting. Before moving forward to the speech, I like to ask few questions. First question, define patience on your own terms. Anyone?
Keep going when the things are not in your favor.
Okay. Thank you, Pasha. So I have taken 2 examples from my personal life to define the patience. First one is related to how I sports fantasy from sports fantasy to become good in studies. And second one is about land dispute. First, I will talk about first one. During my initial days of schooling, I was very afraid of going to the school. My mother and father forced me to go to the school. Like all Indian parents, they think that a sports has no future there. Education can do much for their child. I have no choice but to go to the school. And during my day of school, I have so much of tears on my eyes. And when I enjoyed 6 hours of schooling, and I wait for the final bell of the school. While coming back, I was very smiling on my face because I love sports like cricket. I did not even miss Test of India, ODI, T20. And how I can miss Brender Sehwag is coming and hitting 1-6 on the first ball. And on the next day, he's getting clean bowled. I did not miss. If my friends calls me, Venkatesh, can you come for the playing cricket? Yes, I always say yes. If I did not find a way, I will find somehow to reach on time. But I have so much of fantasy about sports. I do not have any problem like failing in exams or or not getting good marks in exams. But my neighbor's son, they're always behind me. When I have the few months test, when I was given test in the schools and while coming back with the question paper, they are ready before I eat food. They are ready to take my question paper and asking few doubts. And I'm not able to utter a single word in front of my parents as well as their parents. It was very humiliating for me, but I did not bother because I have so much of fantasy of sports. But one day, this changed my mind from a sports fantasy to a good in studies. When I was taken for a talk to a beautiful students in my class, I was very humiliated by him because he did not listen and see my notes also. I was very humiliating, but I made in mind that in the next few exams, definitely I will top this class with lots of patience, perseverance, and hard work. I am able to achieve this, and I got the first rank in my class and made that child to talk to me. This is the first lesson of patience which I tried in my life. And before moving to the second parts of a speech, I would like to ask one more question. How patience helps you in improving your life? Am I audible?
Yes. So I'll quickly answer that. So if we actually follow something which we have lot of interest, and if we see that there is a success on that, so it will be greatly motivated by it.
Thank you, Sankhya, for your wonderful intake. And coming to the second example of my life, I said land dispute. During my initial days of schooling, I reside far from my village, approximately 2,000 kilometers. And during my summer vacation, when I come to my home, my grandmother used to tell me that some of the villages men have forcefully captured our land. I ignored it 3 to 4 years because I do not have the skills and such experience in life to solve such a big problem. As years went, and I have waited for almost 1 year. I was in 1 year. I was thinking, what can I do to free my land? I told to my grandmother, go and cultivate your land. If you find that our land is still here, you can cultivate it. If some outcomes will be there, I will be there for you. But she totally ignored it. Again, 2 years passed. Now this time I took my grandfather and went to the land. I said to my grandfather, cultivate your land. If you find it till here, he agreed it. He cultivates so many plants. But after 1 month, everything is going well. Our rivalry man came and destroyed our crops before me. But after this, we have some physical fights. But this time, I managed to gather around 20 to 30 villages from my side. So in our local language, we would say we call Amin, which measures the land very precisely and accurately. So I am able to convince our rivalry that we should not fight and we should take the help of Amin. If he said that if your land is here, if it's yours, if Amin said my land is here, then I will regain it. But after 1 or 2 days hard work of our Amin, the outcomes is very wonderful. I am able to fetch what I expected. More than that, I am able to regain my land. That's the second circumstances that believes patience, and it take around 10 years to free my land without any hesitation. So if you remain patient in your life, most of the problems can be solved. But if you remain impatient in your life, most of the problems can be created. Over to you, Toastmaster Lalitha.
A big round of applause for Toastmaster Venkatesh. So moving back to the theme, another great gifting idea is a good bag of several small stuffs they love with a theme. Let's say, for example, your special person loves to stay fit. So you can give a duffel bag with a yoga mat, running shoes, great sportswear, and a water bottle. And another gifting idea is being charitable on your special one's birthday. So one of my friend, like she normally goes to the orphanage and she spends time with the children there. They cut a big cake in a room full of kids and they arrange for a special lunch with the children. So with that, we'll be heading towards the second session, that is the table topic session. And for that, I'll be calling the table topic master of the day, Toastmaster Brijesh. He is from Uttarakhand and currently working in Atos as a system engineer in Bangalore. He likes to play cricket and football. Over to you, Toastmaster Brijesh. Brijesh? Brijesh, you're on mute.
Sorry. So I'm audible now?
Yes.
So I am the table topic master for the today's meeting. So the role for table topic master is to give a sudden topic to any speaker, and he will be speaking for at least for 1 minute and maximum for 2 minutes. The purpose of the table topic master is to facilitate table topics where guests and members will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking. So let's start with the first topic. So who want to volunteer first? Anyone from guest? Please raise your hand if you want to volunteer.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, Praneet, right? Okay, so for you, first topic is what makes you happy and why?
What makes me happy and why?
Yes.
So right now I'm working as a software engineer, but like when I was studying, preparing for IIT JEE, when I was in school, I used to be very much interested in arts. I used to do a lot of sketching, but unfortunately because of the hard JEE preparation, I left that. But right now I'm trying to regain those hobbies. I bought a keyboard recently. I'm learning, going for keyboard classes. And at the same time, when I get time, I try to do some sketching. So I do enjoy my work. Like I do enjoy developing applications. I worked as a mobile app developer, web app developer. Right now I'm working as a web app developer. So I do enjoy working in it, but like what I enjoy the most is like I spend a lot of time on arts, whether it can be storytelling or music or some sketching, painting, things like this. So these are what that mostly makes me happy. So yeah.
Thank you, Praneet, for your valuable words. So guys, please give him a round of applause. Thank you. So can I have next volunteer? Anyone from guest? Sakshi, you want to come?
I can see Toastmaster Pasha raised his hand.
Okay. Okay, so for Dr. Pasha, the topic is what's your favorite food and why it's your favorite?
When I was a child, my favorite food was ragi mudde, ragi ball and dal. Because
Okay.
the time we could afford that much. That was my food also. That's my favorite also. 3 times a day like that. Now slowly, after becoming my dentist, my favorite food has become this one, biryani. Because after becoming dentist, every day I could offer for that biryani and mutton and chicken. That's why that was became my favorite food. No, after years, now I am in my entrepreneurial journey. I know I can afford that salmon fish. That is became a favorite food. So on diet also slowly I raised my standards according to my affordability. So the my favorite diet is non-vegetarian, mutton biryani, chicken biryani, and fish. Why? Because you can get all minerals, all type of these things in one food. You need not to go for many stuffs. All minerals, all ingredients, vitamin, proteins, each and every stuff in a single food means mutton biryani. See, that's why I like that one. You need not to waste time on other things. One thing I liked about this non-veg food is, though I'm born in a Muslim family, so we used to have non-veg every day. Because this non-veg, what it gives you persistence, means the calories, you will not become tired. If you work for even from morning to evening, you will not become tired. Because that much time you can work. Like see, in forest, tigers, cheetahs, they hunt one deer and deer. They can stay. They're laughing. Okay, they can stay for long time period. Over to you, man.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Pasa. I can relate with your words. Actually, I also like the biryani the most. So please, guys, give him a round of applause. So thank you. So may I have next volunteer? Okay, Hitesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for you, topic is, who is your favorite actor and 3 best qualities you like in him? May I repeat?
Please do.
Yes. Who is your favorite actor and the 3 best qualities you like in him?
You said actress, right?
Actor.
Actor. Nah, that is better.
Okay.
Because when it comes to sweet, you do not choose, right? So let's talk about actor.
Okay.
Right. So how many of you are fan of watching Bollywood movies?
Right.
How many of you do not know Shah Rukh Khan? Everybody, right? Everybody.
Yes.
So I am now that we are in the era of internet, for people who worked with him backstage, when they start talking about him, say for example, they are discussing award shows in general, and Shah Rukh Khan comes up in a conversation. So that conversation completely gets diverted about him, talking about how he behaves, how he makes everybody comfortable, his sense of humor, the way he respects women, the way he manages his money and stuff. The first thing that I've learned from him, apart from these long list of things that everybody must be knowing, is that he does not make movies, act in movies to make money, to make a living out of it. His only fundamental is make the best movies possible. And that way, he'll get to practice his art. And by mean of that, whatever the popularity he get to do brand endorsements and stuff. And money that comes from the other stuff, that is brand endorsements and special performances, that is what he considered as the money that he should spend on him and his family. Rest, everything should be go back to making the best movies possible. And this is a very interesting thing, right? Whatever we do, if we like it, we should follow it, putting that money back into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tes, for your valuable words. So please give him a round of applause. So can I have next volunteer?
Can volunteer.
Okay. So first, Sucheta, for your topic is who is your best friend and how you met him or her.
Thank you, Brijesh, for that topic. So it takes me back years to my school days where suddenly the topic was brought in best friend, and it was kind of fad. Like who is your best friend? Everybody was having like somebody or the other without understanding the meaning of it. And in this 10 years, in school days, I hardly had a real friend. But only when I jumped into my college days that I had a first friend which I could call as a real close friend. And over the years, I have not limited any best friend, but a close group of circle who have helped me grow in terms of my like they've been there for me for my different needs, I can say, if I can say safely. But somebody who's been there to guide me when I'm stuck in a travel, I call that buddy as my uh, best friend for travel. I Somebody is there who helps me in helps me think about how my life should go on, like if my choices are correct. There's and there's somebody of a group circle is always there for my emotional needs. So it is not any one particular person, but rather a whole circle, I can say my tribe, and I'm so lucky to have them. Let me quickly see if the timer is there. Okay, yeah, it's already yellow. Thank you, and over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Sucheta, for your words and for your intake. Give her a round of applause. Okay, thank you, guys. So can I have next volunteer? Anyone from guest?
I can go next.
Okay, Sakshi. So for Sakshi, for the topic for you is, which was your favorite subject in your school time?
Okay. So when it comes to the subjects, the one thing which scares most of the kids is mathematics, because you start off with numbers and suddenly the alphabets are pouring in and the kids, they just lose their minds. But for me, it was the opposite. I used to love maths as a kid. The sheer joy that came out of solving some equations, and I used to sit for hours on end just solving certain questions, be it trigonometry or differential equations or integration. Maths was something which was always one of my favorites, which is why when after 10th you had to choose a subject, it was in Indian society, it's mostly that you have to go with, PCM or PCB. But since it's sort of a contradiction, because I was interested in maths, but never so much in the science aspect of it. So I went ahead with choosing commerce as my subject, but I made sure that, I didn't leave maths along the way. So when I did choose my subject in 11th, I chose commerce, but with mathematics. And surprisingly, the best equation that I've had in school across all the years, amongst all the teachers, it's always been with my mathematics teachers. And I'm really glad that even today I am still in good touch with all of those teachers, and they do have we both have each other in good memories of each other. So maths is something that thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. So as we know, most of us, we are afraid from taking the maths as a favorite subject, but you have taken as a favorite subject. So I appreciate you. So give her a round of applause. Thank you. So can I have next volunteer? Okay, I see PM Vishal. So will you go, Vishal?
Yep, sure, Toastmaster Brijesh.
Okay. So for you, topic is, which is the best sports you like and why?
For me, running has been a game changer, and that's why I would definitely choose running as a sport. Firstly, and there are multiple reasons, right? firstly, the top of mind is that running doesn't require lots of group members or team members, unlike badminton, tennis, or other players where you at least need two. And when we say our typical childhood games, cricket, we would need an entire colony to play with us. And now in these days, it's not really possible. But running has been a game changer. I started participating in some of the marathon events since 2018, and and you all would be surprised that even running happens in groups at times, and it's actually attracts us to keep on running. And that's why this question, the topic which table topic master presented, is kind of close to my heart, because when I've started running and the perseverance which I've got from it by participating in various events, it actually has helped me in my in my working conditions, overall for my fitness, the way I talk, the way I handle things. It has been a big part of my overall journey. So it's no brainer for me right now that running has been the thing. Yeah, I mean, my wife would say that it also added the cost element to it, because when I started running, I thought it's the one of the most cheapest sports to start. But to be very frank, it's like any other sports. Once we get into it, once we start enjoying it, once we know that okay, we have to buy this shoes, that shoes, there is a running day shoe, there is a rest day shoes, there is a speed workout shoes. So all those kind of things comes into the picture, and it's an extravagant sports. But like it or not, I think if we like something, it's fine if we pay a bit extra just to pursue our hobbies, because that's what life is, and we can manage somewhere else. But that's how it has been me, and I would encourage everyone over here to enjoy running, participate in some of the wonderful events that Bangalore hosts, and we all can do it together. Over to you, Toastmaster Brijesh.
Thank you, Vishal, for your intake. And I will also like to run. Thank you. So please give him a round of applause. So can I have next volunteer?
I can go next.
Okay. So for Rohit. So who was your best teacher in your school time and what you love most about him or her?
All right. So I think if I recall the best teacher of my school days, I think it has to be my English ma'am, I think from 7th and 8th grade. I was studying in Kanpur in a school, and it was an upcoming school, very new. But then the teacher whom I'm talking about was so good that I mean, one reason was that I was the favorite child of her. So I was definitely not getting any scolding or beating from her. But then I could relate to her more that as when I was growing up, and she was there to enthuse that confidence in me, and then come up with teaching English in a fun way, as well as like she always used to encourage us in giving the speeches, in finding the new words, use them in our exams and all those stuffs. So I clearly remember an incident where I just was I wrote some paragraph in the test using some new words, just found something in the dictionary and used them in the paragraph. So I mean, that paragraph was read in the whole class the next day, and I was like quite happy around that. And it all came because she was so supportive, and we could ask her any question, any doubts, anything around those things. So I think that's where I would say that yes, she was my favorite teacher during the school days. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Brijesh.
Thank you, Rohit, for your intake. And I love to hear about your best teacher. So give him a round of applause, guys. So can I have next volunteer? Anyone? So Aswin, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. If Toastmaster Venkatesh wants to take it up, please let him.
Okay. So for you, topic is, who is the best motivator for you?
My biggest motivation is my teacher, and she supports me in everything. What if I'm going in a wrong way? Suppose if I'm not focusing on studies or any other area, she will be always there to teach me and take me to the right direction. And if I suppose if I am not doing good in studies or any other field, she will be motivating. And if I found any doubts regarding anything, whether it is not only a studies or any other, if you feel, I can feel very free to reach her, and she will be always there for me. So over to you, Toastmaster Brijesh.
Thank you, Venkatesh, for your words. And give him a round of applause, guys. So can I have next volunteer? Yes.
Yes.
Said. Oh, okay. Tarun, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for you, topic is, what was the turning point in your life which changed your whole life?
Yeah, great. In fact, this is what I dread always. But then, yes, I'll come with some kind of a thought. Great point which turned my life around is, of course, joining an organization called We Move Ideas. And it gave me the freedom to explore myself, my creative ideas, install some of the creative ideas which I had in my mind, to bring up that company for last 5 years. And another thing which changed my life is marrying the girlfriend of my choice, my wife currently. So that changed the whole perspective in life. Otherwise, I was not disciplined. Rather, I did not have a direction as to where I need to go. What was my, in fact, when she came into my life, I had a sense of direction, and then I had something to look forward to. That was something which changed my perspective as well. Otherwise, before that, I was a young guy with direction, without any direction, supposedly. So that all changed my life per se. And now I'm happily married with one kid. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Tarun, for your words. And I love to hear that. So give him a round of applause, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for hearing me out. And by the way, happy Friendship Day to all of you.
Same to you, Tarun. Okay. So can I have next volunteer?
Yeah, I can go next.
Okay, Pranav, thank you. So for you, topic is 3 places where you want to go in future and why.
Oh, wow, that's an interesting topic, I would say. I have my friends who are so really nice that I could never make plans with them, because whenever we make a plan, that doesn't happen. So this one was one trip which we planned initially was a Goa trip, which is like every youth's dream to go to Goa, explore Goa, right? So we started our planning a year before. So there was one of my friend who works in Dubai, so we had to adjust his leaves, right? So we started the planning 1 year before. We went on with the planning, and that went ahead. It went for 2-3 months, and all of a sudden the discussion stopped. Now I didn't know what is the status, so I just texted back on the group asking like, "Hey guys, are we still on with the plan?" One fine day, there was a response like, if everyone is ready, we can go. And the plan didn't happen on that particular day. One day, my friend came back from Dubai. He called me up like, "Where are you?" I told him, "I'm in Bangalore." "Okay, I'm just taking my car and I'm coming to Bangalore." That was the only thing which he told. And there was another friend who joined him. He reached here. When as usual, we went to some places in Bangalore. We went to few, religious places, which we call it as pubs in Bangalore. And there we had our discussion. One fine day, we told we are leaving to Goa today, right? That trip happened. And we reached Goa, we didn't know what to do. We don't know places. We didn't have a place to crash. We were trying to find hotels. We didn't get reservation. Finally, we crashed into one of my friend's place. We enjoyed it. So similarly, now we are planning for Thailand trip, Singapore trip, Vietnam trip, which I don't know when it's going to happen, but definitely these three are in the bucket list. Back to you, table topics master.
Thank you, Pranav, and best of luck for your trip. So, guys, please give him a round of applause. So that's all from my side. I hope you enjoyed a lot. Thank you. Back to you, TMOD, Lalitha.
So thank you, Toastmaster Brajesh, for the session and for the amazing topics. So a big round of applause for Toastmaster Brajesh. So with that, we'll be heading towards the evaluation session. I'll be calling a general evaluator to Ashwin Shankaran to present this report. Over to you, General Evaluator Ashwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lalita, for that. Before I start on the evaluation and call upon the individual evaluators, timer, could we have the timings for the speeches, prepared speeches?
Sure. So, Toastmaster Pasha, the speech time was 14 minutes and 20 seconds. For Toastmaster Vishal, it was 7 minutes, 47 seconds. And for Toastmaster Venkatesh, it was 6 minutes, 55 seconds.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Now, let us start with the evaluation session. First, I would call upon evaluator 1 to present Toastmaster Pasha's speech evaluation, and I am the evaluator for Toastmaster Pasha's speech, so I'm getting on it right away. Toastmaster Pasha, are you there still? Yeah, I would prefer if you are online for this. Okay, to start with my evaluation, Toastmaster Pasha, let me first start with congratulating you on completing your L4P2 in presentation mastery. That was a good one. The purpose of your speech was to present a podcast, right? Now, what is a podcast? Basically, you know, for the members of the audience to understand, a podcast is basically a series created by the host, where episode by episode they come and talk about the topic, which is usually a niche topic. There is a difference between a broadcast and a podcast. A broadcast is where we listen to the radio and people. An RJ usually comes and talks about the rains in Bangalore, or let's talk about potholes in Mumbai, all that. Whereas podcast is basically a more informative one. Okay. So with that, I would like to congratulate you because you've given a wonderful podcast on the topic change, which is the real game changer. To talk about your speech, you gave a wonderful speech by talking about the whole transition of what game or a real game changer and how do you embrace change in your life. And you gave us certain really good examples and the moral from each example or each stages of your life wherein you embraced the change, you fought the change, and then you came out successful. Your speech started with a beautiful introduction where you asked a question and waited for the feedback from the audience. You collected the feedback and you actually gave back your own answer to it. Now, what happened is once you came in and you gave the answer that the actual the finding your own potential and making use of it is the first change that we are looking at. You repeated it for the audience to understand it and take it in. And then you continued with a question number 2, which again, caught the audience's attention. Now, as per your guidelines, you had 2 to 3 minutes to introduce your speech, which you did very well. Coming on the transition from the introduction to the content of the speech was very smooth. And then you spoke in 3 points. One is how your business grew, where you had a hesitation to put money into business and buying a plot, how you became successful in buying a plot. The second one is the change in thoughts perspective by bringing in more doctors as assistants, imparting knowledge and empowering them, and how the business grew. And the third one being how you changed your thought processes from the old school method to new school method, wherein you actually gave cost effective ones. Your speech was well delivered. It had all the components required for a very effective speech. When it comes to recommendation, what I would actually come to give you is one is a bit more of practice in your speech. When you're coming to L4P2, you are in one of the advanced levels of speech giving projects, right? So in this case, if you have a mentor, my suggestion is connect with your mentor and present your speech to the mentor twice, thrice, or 4 or 5 times, because your speech had certain places where there was a break in continuity, where I myself was, losing that attention span. Now, being an evaluator, I had to continuously listen to your speech, but an audience may not completely listen, or they may not completely give that attention. And if a break in attention comes, the thoughts, as an individual, there are different thoughts that come in, and the flow just, you break the flow. That is one thing. Second is voice modulation, right? By voice modulation, what I mean is, now there are different parts, like how you wanted to buy a land and how you waited for the real estate market to play its game, and then you realize that no, now every stage in this life you could have, done a change in the pitch of your voice, through which you could have actually, the audience would have understood that, where, oh wow, I was waiting for the land market to change, but then what happened? It did not. And then I thought, let me invest my own money by first advancing my. So this change in voice modulation would help the people understand what was the radiation that you were going through in your life. It is one way of expressing, it is the one way of indirect communication, where you where you impart your ideas through a different way. So, in conclusion, I would like to reiterate that your speech was well delivered, it was well structured, there was all the components that were required in an effective podcast and an effective speech. Two recommendation: one is practicing in front of a mirror and in front of an in front of a mentor, so that the continuity remains. One, and second is voice modulation. Having said these would have made your speech from a wow factor to an awesome factor. And kudos on calling out the topic of the speech once again in the end. That really gave an overall end to the speech, where you started with change, a real game changer, and ended with change, a real game changer. Back to the general evaluator. Hi everyone. It's difficult actually doing a transition from the general evaluator to the general evaluator. I would like to call upon the evaluator 3 for the third speech, which was given by, I'm sorry, it is difficult jumping, by Mr. Venkatesh, Toastmaster Venkatesh.
Thank you, General Evaluator Ashwin. Yeah, my target speaker for today, Toastmaster Venkatesh. I know you are completing your L2P2, and when you gave out the speech title, Patience, I was very curious to know a one word for a speech. How does that gonna impact? What is that he's gonna talk about? And patience is something which we doesn't have at all, right? Most of us who are a working professional. So that came into my mind when you started it off. I got to understand what exactly you were trying to speak all about. Now, your speech, I'll be dividing into 3 parts. First would be the good things. Second, things to improve. Third would be challenge, which I'm going to give it to you. First thing, your choice of making the audience understand was what type of style of communication you are using to communicate what you have to speak to the audience. Good job in getting that done. You were telling them what you are as a person and how do you communicate and get things done. Good job in that. You really had a good storyline, which I really loved about, because most of the content, it was not clumsy. You had a proper storyline to it. The connections were little loose, but I would say you had a proper storyline. Second, audience interaction. You had a brilliant audience interaction. You paused for a while to get an answer from the audience. That's a good thing. Third, you have beautiful hand gestures and body language. The amazing part about being in a virtual environment and sitting to listen a speech is when you stand and speak, your body language is clearly visible and your hand gestures were clearly visible. No doubt in that. Third one, story had a personal connect. We could all relate somewhere about, what happens in a village, about your family members. A personal connect touch which you have added was a really awesome one. Now, the points to improve, which I would say is, first thing is when you are preparing the speech, I'm pretty sure you would have discussed with your mentor, you would have spoken, you would have practiced it, right? One thing which I noted was there were few usages which was not proper in grammar. Just for an example, you told I was very humiliating. Instead, you would have told I was humiliated. Simple as that, right? So just try to remember when you are using grammar in your speech, try to make sure that you're using proper sentence. Second, which I felt was the camera angle. I know we are in a virtual environment. We have to adjust the camera. Trust me, when I was giving my speech, to adjust the camera angle, I kept a stool, few books on top of it, and then kept my laptop so that people can view me properly. So the camera angle does play a good role in it. Okay. Third, which I felt was you had a good content, but voice modulation was missing in it. Now, when you are talking about a sensitive topic, which you want the audience to know, bring in a little bit of dramatic effect to it. Add a little pause. Bring in that, just like the story would flow into the members. So these are the, the things to improve, which I would say. And to conclude, I would say you had a really good subject. You spoke really well on it. You told everyone what is your style of communication. And finally, the points to improve is you have to check on the grammar, just check on the camera angle and put in the voice modulation. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. That was an amazing evaluation. Toastmaster Venkatesh, I'm sure you have a lot of things that you can take away from today. Now, before I go on to the main evaluation, let me call upon the Toastmaster Rohit, the timer for the day, to have the entire report on the timings.
Sure. Thanks, Toastmaster Ashwin. Going by the table topics, I would say that the timing taken by Toastmaster Pasha was 2 minutes 13 seconds, by Toastmaster Vishal 2 minutes 20 seconds, Toastmaster Venkatesh 35 seconds, Toastmaster Pranav 2 minutes 2 seconds, Toastmaster Praneeth 1 minute 2 seconds, Toastmaster Suchita 1 minute 33 seconds, Sakshi Gupta 1 minute 30 seconds, and Hitesh 2 minutes 15 seconds, Toastmaster Tarun 1 minute 32 seconds. So that was about the table topics. On the general evaluation, I would say that Toastmaster Ashwin took 5 minutes 50 seconds, Toastmaster Abhishek 1 minute 40 seconds, and Toastmaster Pranav 3 minutes 50 seconds. So yeah, that's the time reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit, for that. And could I call upon the R counter for the day, Toastmaster Sankhya, for his report?
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. I would like to share my screen and focus my account. Please let me know once you can view it. Is my screen viewable?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So now I have actually put down the R counter report in this way. So starting with Toastmaster Pasha. So Toastmaster Pasha took up two roles today, one as a table topic, another as a speaker. So as a table topic speaker, there was two and five In terms of the speaker, there were two and four And there was a small observation that when you were pronouncing the word helped, it came as helped. So it came out multiple times. So you may take care of that one. There was good job done. Next is Toastmaster Vishal. Toastmaster Vishal, again, you took up two roles today. One as a table topic. So in the table topic, came up multiple times. Came up two, came up three, and as a speaker, there were four times when the came up. And there was a repetition that whenever the example that you have quoted, whether in your speech or on your table topic, that was the time when the repetition was happening. When you think about the what you have to take up. So that's observation on this. Next is Toastmaster Abhishek, who took up the timer, the observation as the evaluator. There was a repetition after and. So that came up multiple times, and there was three times which Toastmaster Abhishek spoke on. Toastmaster Venkatesh took up two roles, one as the table topic when you did the one times, and as a speaker, there was or, which came up twice, and there was no observation otherwise. Toastmaster Hitesh, good job. There was no filler words, and there was no observation for you. Toastmaster Sakshi, as a table topic speaker, there was came up twice and came up thrice. Toastmaster Sucheta, the came up twice. Toastmaster Rohit, twice as a table topic and five times As a speaker, there was two and four times And Toastmaster Tarun, there was two times and five times The observation was you spoke my, a couple of times, came as a repetition almost twice. You speak, but which is fine because that's the flow. Toastmaster Pranav, as a table topic speaker, a right came up four times, but as an evaluator, there was no filler words. Toastmaster area. So that was my overall report for today as an counter. Over to you, Toastmaster Rohit. Sorry, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sankhya. That was a wonderful report. This is the first time I'm actually seeing a counter report being given as a presentation slide, and that is something that I should take note of and maybe do it myself while I'm doing a tag role in my club. The third person to help me is the grammarian. Now, I am the one who was taking up the job as a grammarian as well. I have overall, it went well. There were a few examples and this thing. I couldn't note down everything as I had to do the evaluator job and work on the evaluation speed. So I couldn't do a good job as a grammarian. My bad on it. Now to come to evaluate the entire meeting. First of all, let me start with congratulating Speakers Day on completing their 335th meeting, which in itself is a milestone. A big applause to all the club members. We started the meeting at around 11:15, which is a 15-minute delay from the time that was informed over the message. So that is something that we can prepare on. Myself, I thought I was the one joining late as it was only at 10:55. I logged into the laptop, but then there was still a delay, which is something to be taken care of, as punctuality is one of the most important things in Toastmasters. The first thing was Sergeant at Arms address by Toastmaster Venkatesh. Toastmaster Venkatesh, that Sergeant at Arms address was well given, but I would actually suggest to not completely read out. You have your choice in reading out the script and modifying it according to your way. The three guidelines that you need to call out is important, but you can innovate on it, and that is what Toastmasters encourages you to. So in your thing, what I felt is you took the script, you read out the entire thing, and you passed it on to the presiding officer. You took less than 45 seconds for the whole reading out the script. The good thing out of it was since we were already starting late, you managed that part wherein you completed your role absolutely in time, whereas one correction or one improvement is the connectivity. So Sojin Arms is the one who starts the entire meetings, and he is the one, he or she is the one who grasps the attention from the audience. Here, when you read the whole thing, I believe that whole motto was missed out of it. You introduced the presiding officer and handed it over well in the right manner, which was a great job. Presiding officer, Toastmaster Sankhya, you took up the role from Toastmaster Sonal in a very effective way. You tick marked on the things where you introduced guests, spoke in brief about what Toastmasters is all about, and introduced your club as well. Um, One thing which I would like to recommend is to manage a script every time before you come in, because there is always the presiding officer is the one who handles the time very well. And usually what I've seen is around 5 to 5.3 minutes is what a presiding officer takes. And my own noting of it, you have come out to 6.5 to 7 minutes. No, there is nothing wrong in it. I wouldn't say there's anything wrong in it. The way you put it up was absolutely wonderful. You spoke, you connected with the guests, every member over here. It was really wonderful. But if you could cut that short, it could give everyone a bit of more time and to arrange the meeting in a very relaxed manner rather than pushing out on it. You've introduced the Toastmaster of the Day very well, and Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Lalitha, a great job done. Grand applause to you. It was a wonderful job done. You came in, you spoke about the theme of the meeting, you spoke about what is the structure in which Toastmasters, General Toastmasters meeting goes on. You introduce every role taker in the right manner. Introduction is one important thing in Toastmasters where everyone is introduced, even if it is done repeatedly in every meeting, because that is the general concept that we follow in business this thing as well. Whereas when we are introducing, let us say for example, we are just having a town hall meeting and we are introducing a vice president who is known to everyone, but still we introduce them. That gives a kickstart to it and it grasps the attention of everyone, because you're introducing a vice, just giving an example, you're introducing a vice president as a speaker in a different town hall meeting, of a finance town hall meeting, a procurement vice president comes in. People who do not know who he is will, that attention will just be caught on right there, and then they will listen to it. So that way you introduce everyone certain nicks and knacks, that what everyone is, what is the procurement, if Ashwin is a procurement professional or not, it doesn't actually matter, but then calling it out actually helps people to hear out, okay, this is Ashwin, he is a procurement professional, and networking being an important thing, this is important in Toastmasters. Now, in prepared speeches, you called upon all these speakers effectively. You called upon their evaluators to call upon the objective of the speaker. It was well done. One point I have to note down over here is I do not know if this was a special emergency or what it was. You called upon the second evaluator to give the evaluation right after the speech. I checked out through the WhatsApp group and think if there was a special requirement where Toastmaster Abhishek had requested that he has to leave early, hence it was called. Is there something like that?
Yes, that was the case.
Okay, that was the case.
Yes.
It would have been helpful if it was introduced, if it was called out in the general Toastmasters page, as in the WhatsApp group, because that actually came on as a out of flow. So if you could have introduced, or if you could have called out in the beginning that there is a special change for the day where the second evaluator will be giving the evaluation right after the speech, then everyone would be prepared in that way. Now, for me, I lost the continuity in the flow when the second evaluator came in, because then I suddenly had to go to my WhatsApp speech. WhatsApp this thing, that did I miss something is what I had to. So this is a small point. If you could call out a change well in advance. Uh, Table Topics Master, the second was the Table Topics session. For the Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Brijesh, you did a wonderful uh, session today with the table topics. All the topics were beautifully, the topics were simple and it was beautiful. It was something everyone could relate to. What food makes you happy, which is your favorite teacher, favorite sport, what is the turning point of your life. These are all realistic topics which anyone can connect to. You ask me, I can give a speech on any of these topics, and in impromptu speaking, that becomes very easy because on a club level, it encourages people to speak more when they hear. If I was a new member, I would have been hesitant for the first three table topics to understand what kind of topics are coming in. And if you would have called upon that, what is rocket science all about, and could you tell us about the missions that India would have done, I would have never raised my hand. But I'm sure everyone got encouraged because the first topic is what makes you happy. Second was what is your favorite food. Third was your favorite actor. So by then I'm like, okay, these are the kind of topics I can also raise my hand and answer, and that's what I'm sure everyone did. So with that, it was a wonderful selection of the topics. When you introduce table topics, you could talk a bit about what table topics is all about, the timings that are included in table topics, and how will the timer relate to it. Like, for example, your 1 to 2 minutes, the green card at one, yellow card at 1.5, and red card at two, and encourage them to take that whole 2 minutes to speak. You also can call out in the beginning that there is 30 seconds for everyone to think about the topic before they start on. The timer will usually start once the first word or the first action comes into place. Till then, the timer would not start the timing. So this is something for you to call out so that the people, the members would be encouraged more to come and give a speech, because yes, the 30 seconds actually helps. With that, you actually did a wonderful thing. I'm sure you came out with 10 topics prepared, and you did not give a thought that you usually in our club meetings, what happens is after the 6 or 7 topic, the table topic master comes in like, timer, do we have time to go ahead? But you were very sure that, I've come with 10 topics prepared. I'm going to call out all these 10 topics and I'm going to make sure that 10 people gives a speech, and only then will I stop. So that part, it's a compliment. That part, it was very well done. It was beautiful. Next is the evaluation things. One is, yes, last minute, since one of the evaluators dropped out, there was someone to take it up. It was a wonderful thing. But to evaluate a speech of L4P2, like, even I'm sure my evaluation could have been better if I would have come in prepared on what L4P2 is all about and how to evaluate it. As a person evaluating a podcast and on a level of Dr. Pasha, who was given a wonderful speech, I think these things could have been well noted in advance and passed on if there is an experienced Toastmaster, or call in an experienced Toastmaster like your area director directly, that boss, we do not have such an evaluator. Can you come in and please fill in the role, because it is a high level topic. Anyone, anything up to L2 and all, yes, it can be done. Anyway, I was privileged on taking up that role, and I hope that I have given full justice to Dr. Pasha on his speech. And I would love to connect with him personally if he needs more out of me, because I have more points. Due to the time constraint, even though I short on my time, I wanted to give a better evaluation. Second speech by Toastmaster Vishal. Am I right? Yeah, Toastmaster Vishal. That was a wonderful speech, Vishal. I agree with all the evaluation that Toastmaster Abhishek has given for you, and it was beautifully done. Some points which I have noticed is you had a great transition. Voice modulation was, to the point. Though there was a, this is for both Toastmaster Venkatesh and Toastmaster Vishal. Toastmaster Venkatesh is the third speaker, right? Yeah, Toastmaster Venkatesh and Toastmaster Vishal. When you are speaking in a distance from your laptop to, where you're standing, kindly use either a microphone or um, a, one of your Bluetooth speakers or something like that, because this helps very clear. Now, that voice modulation could have been because of the distance, because the moment you realize that there is a distance, you will not play on the voice modulation. The moment you lower your voice, an audience would not be able to hear it. So you went ahead with the same pitch or the tone which was followed from the beginning to end. Second thing for you, Toastmaster Vishal, is your intro was a story which you've read somewhere, whereas your transition into what management consulting is all about, your experience and how you wanted to give. Now, there was a difference in confidence between the intro and the transition. It is good to see the confidence increasing and you going your transition beautifully increasing over here. But if that intro you could have practiced a bit more. It is a very, spread topic on this management consultant, this joke on a person traveling and, finding a shepherd. It was read all throughout, and I'm sure most of them knows it because it is well articulated forward in WhatsApp itself. But if you could have practiced it more in front of a mirror or something and come to a level where you're comfortable with the story, that would have given a, you know, the graph would have been quite parallel in your voice modulation. It would not have gone down and then up and then to a great straight. For Toastmaster Venkatesh, again, your topic was an amazing topic. You gave a well-delivered speech. One point is the voice modulation between the, between your laptop to where you were standing. One, and second is, yes, the same thing what I have told Dr. Pasha, I would repeat it out to you. Kindly connect with your mentor if you have one, or if not, request for a mentor, connect with them and practice the speech with them once or twice. They would be able to give you an idea where or what to change, what not to change, and how to deliver it. In Toastmasters evaluation, we do not evaluate on what you speak, we evaluate on how you speak, because the betterment comes in the way you speak. What you speak is your choice. Okay, I hope I've done justice to all that also. Coming to the entire meeting, I have again, I'm calling out once again, the meeting started 15 minutes late, but I think we are just a few minutes. We have covered the gap quite considerably. If there is a point where the meeting has started late, the presiding officer of the TMOD could connect back with the table topics master to either reduce the number of speeches or something so that the meeting could end on time positively. That is one suggestion that I have. Otherwise, it was a great meeting overall. Second suggestion I have is to fix on the role takers, right? So at least before the meeting starts, at least 15 minutes before, if you could connect and see which all role taker are going to be present, and if there's a last minute change, because it's a Sunday, it's, it's a odd day for, it's a difficult day for people to come and join a meeting. People would have last minute plans and all that. So just make sure that is done. Other than that, it was a brilliant session. Kudos to speakers then for having conducted an amazing uh, meeting overall. I wanted to say a party because this was as equal to a party where we have beautiful people. Everyone spoke, everyone participated. It was fun. This is something I'm going to go back and take to my club on how wonderful the meeting was and how we can incorporate a lot of things. One is the presentation and the timer report, the R counter report. One is the way everyone spoke. One is the determination by our table topics master that I will complete what I've come prepared. It was amazing. Thanks a lot for having me over here. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator Ashwin Shankaran, for that wonderful report. A big round of applause for General Evaluator Ashwin Shankaran. So moving back to the theme, it's time I answer the obvious question on everyone's mind. What did I gift my sister on her 30th birthday? So I gifted her an experience. It's well known that experience makes us far happier than materialist things. So I presented a 2-hour spa session at one of the finest places in the city. A visit to an adventure park or wine tasting sessions or jungle stays are all experiences that can be memorable and unique for your special ones. With that, I hope I've given you all some great ideas to find the perfect gift for your special ones. So over to you, Toastmaster Sankhya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lalitha. And ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Toastmasters and our wonderful guest. As the presiding officer of the day, first, I would like to express my gratitude to Toastmaster Ashwin for seamlessly steering this session as the general evaluator. Let's give a round of applause for Toastmaster Ashwin. And our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lalitha, for a beautiful theme which you have taken the passion and the emotion from everybody about the gift, about the art of gifting. What a wonderful one. Let's give a round of applause to Toastmaster Lalitha. And each speaker today shared their thoughts and perspectives reminding us of the wealth of knowledge and experiences we bring to this platform. And to all our diligent role takers, you set the framework, ensuring our gathering was more productive and enlightening, because your commitment makes the difference today. Now, as we continue on our Toastmasters journey, let's remember the power of words. There was an inappropriate usage of reference in one of the impromptu speech, so let's use them judiciously, always bearing in mind the responsibility that comes with the privilege of the platform. Now, in closing, while we embrace the freedom of speech, let's navigate conversations that are inclusive, avoiding topics like sex and politics, which might divert from our learning purpose. Now, thank you everyone for your contributions and dedications. Until next time, keep speaking, keep listening, and keep growing. With that, as the presiding officer of the day, let me close our today's meeting number 335 with a clap. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll stop the recording now.